Hello and welcome. Anyway, that was attractive. Hello and welcome to FDS. My name is Nate and I am your host. Today we are going to talk about Magic Pro League. Mythic Pro League. The MPL. Yeah, I was gonna try to talk about something else because I know it's been a week since the announcement. It has been talked to death by most content creators, and I tried to find something new and interesting, but frankly, Thassa's Oracle being banned in Historic isn't really that exciting for me. I don't play Arena, so I don't care. Wizards of the Coast is dissolving the Mythic Pro League. Lasted 2 years. And basically have said that the idea of professional Magic players is no longer a thing, sort of. And really, if you think about it, prior to the Mythic Pro League, yeah, there were pro Magic players, and I'm sure some of them lived as pro Magic players and played Magic all the time and didn't work at a 9-to-5 job, and I'm sure a lot of them did, but a lot of them didn't. Like, a lot of the really high level folks had to supplement their income with other content creation. Like, look at LSV. You know, he's doing pretty well because of the stuff that he's putting out for Channel Fireball. Magic coming out and saying that being a pro player that is just a pro player and is able to live off the income of a pro player is essentially them acknowledging that, yeah, no, it's gonna, if anything, it's gonna go back to the way it was, and maybe not even that. I don't know how to feel about this, especially because we don't know what the future holds. I will admit I feel sad for people who are on the Mythic Pro League. It seems by all accounts of almost everyone involved that Wizards of the Coast handled it horribly. Like, I can't, they got what was it, 75 grand or something like that a year for being on the Mythic Pro League or Magic Pro League. I don't know what the name is. The MPL. They got $75,000 a year for playing in the MPL. That's nice. That's fantastic. I'm very happy for them that they were able to do that. They've made it very clear that the communication out of Wizards of the Coast to the MPL was poor, and they were kept in the dark for a lot of things. In fact, in some cases, they were finding out about news with the MPL at the same time the public was. Like, that isn't, at least if these reports are true, and I tend to trust, that sucks. And that's not the way to run a business. Like, that's not how you run, and that's what this is. This is a business. This is esports. And I think that's what makes it sad for me, is the fact that this was such a big deal 2 years ago when they were making the announcement about how many millions of dollars they were putting into the MPL and the new, I don't even know what the hell to call it, the Mythic Championship. And it's a shame. It's just a shame that they put that much effort and money into this. And I get that COVID threw a gigantic monkey wrench into the MPL. Like, I totally get that. It did in the way that the pandemic threw a monkey wrench into everything. But if you think about it, the MPL was one of the few places that they didn't need to do much to pivot. Like, yeah, you don't have your in-person events, but they already were showing that the MPL and the Mythic Championships were going to be done on Arena. Arena is an online thing. Like, you could easily pivot to that, and it just was obvious that there were not the resources, the leadership in that division of Wizards of the Coast to pivot and do something to keep interest in the MPL and the Mythic Championship. And I haven't even touched the convoluted nature of getting into the MPL. Because one of the big selling points of this was if you were good enough at Magic, you would get into the MPL and you would get paid to play Magic the Gathering for a full year at least if you got into that, and that anybody could do it. And then the labyrinth of different ways that you could get there, but it was all extremely convoluted, was very frustrating for people. They didn't have the resources or leadership to handle it prior to the pandemic. So it's obvious now that they wouldn't have the resources or leadership to handle it during a pandemic. It's just a shame. It's just a real shame, because I think the MPL could have been an amazing way for Wizards of the Coast to maintain interest in Magic. If I were to venture a guess, I would say that they saw the numbers on Arena, they saw the exponential growth in Arena, they saw the lack of interest in the MPL, not because people aren't interested in pro play, but because they did a horrible job in advertising any sort of tournaments that were occurring, and no spectator mode, no coverage was not great, which has been a historical problem for Wizards of the Coast and their live events. There were reasons outside of Magic Pro play to make it that people weren't interested. Like, people weren't interested in watching it. Only the most hardcore people who were interested in pro play were jumping through the hoops that they needed to jump through to watch it. And that's a problem. When you're creating barriers for a portion of your fan base and not actively trying to bring more people into that arena, pun intended, that's on you as a company. But if I had to venture a guess, they saw the exponential growth of Arena just in people watching streams and watching and logging in and playing, and watching the abysmal numbers for the pro play. That leads me to believe that they probably saw that. Maybe they looked into the whys, maybe not, I can't say. But at a certain point, they just decided to cut their losses, put much more energy into the casual side of things, and leave the pro side to a much lesser scenario, which is sad. That's just sad that they did that, because I do think that pro play can be a driver of interest. So I just think it's a potential mistake on Wizards' part, but I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see, because we have no idea what's going to replace the MPL. They don't even know yet. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm sorry to see it go. I wish that it would stick around, but it's not. We're going to see what the new world of competitive play is going to be with Magic the Gathering. So yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. I know it's been talked to death this week, and typically I don't like to beat a dead horse, but it is just probably the biggest news that has come out of Magic since Universes Beyond. So this has been a big year for Magic news. Holy crap. That's about it for today. So be sure to, if you liked everything, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Thank you again so much for joining us, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. This show is part of the CIP network, inspiring creativity, one episode at a time.